spring of 1911, the city of Chicago bustled with ambition and industry. The smoke of progress billowed from its factories, and the clang of trolley bells echoed through the cobbled streets. But beneath its industrious face, something darker lurked. On one ordinary April afternoon, a 5-year-old girl vanished, and what followed was one of the most chilling, unsolved child disappearances in American history. This is the story of Elsie Paroubek. April 8, 1911. The day began like any other in the Paroubek household. Elsie, a sweet-natured child of Czech immigrant parents, put on her favorite dress, blue cotton with a white collar, and told her mother she was going to visit her aunt, who lived just blocks away on South Albany Avenue. It was a short walk, one she'd made before. But on this day, Elsie never returned. Neighbors would later say they saw Elsie near 28th Street, watching an organ grinder perform for a gathering of children. Her cousin was there too. As the music played and coins clinked in the man's cup, the children began to disperse. But Elsie lingered, mesmerized by the melody. That would be the last time anyone saw her alive. By nightfall, panic set in. Her parents, František and Marie, frantically scoured the neighborhood, calling her name into the darkness. By midnight, the police were involved. In the days that followed, the entire city seemed to join the search. The Chicago police, local press, and community leaders mobilized to find the lost girl. Flyers bearing her image were posted throughout the city. She had soft brown hair, big eyes, and a delicate smile. Tips flooded in, each more bizarre than the last. Some claimed she had been taken by traveling Romani groups. Others believed she was kidnapped for ransom, or worse. Sinister rituals whispered about in the shadows. No theory seemed too wild. The hysteria grew, and with each passing day, hope dimmed. For weeks, the Paroubek family lived a waking nightmare. The city, now under a spell of collective dread, watched the case unravel. Police conducted raids. Innocents were arrested and released. Psychics offered their visions. Priests prayed. But there was no trace of Elsie. Then came May. On May 9th, almost a full month after Elsie vanished, workers at the Lockport power plant spotted something strange in the waters of the Des Plaines River. A child's body, bloated, pale, and lifeless, floated among the reeds. Authorities were called. The tiny corpse was carefully removed and examined. It was Elsie. An autopsy revealed no signs of trauma. No bruises, no cuts, no broken bones. But there was something unusual. No water in the lungs. Elsie had not drowned. She was dead before she entered the water. How she died remains unknown. She had simply stopped breathing. The cause of death was listed as asphyxiation, but the how and the why are questions that still echo through history, unanswered. Elsie Paroubek's funeral became a moment of collective mourning. Over 2,500 people attended the service. Mourners wept openly as 8 young girls in white carried a small white coffin. Her parents stood silently, shattered beyond words. The procession stretched for blocks, a silent outcry from a city that had failed to protect one of its own. Decades later, Elsie's image would reappear, not in a police file, but in the haunting pages for reclusive artists' imagination. Henry Darger, a janitor by day, an outsider artist by night, created a 15,000-page fantasy novel illustrated with thousands of drawings. His heroines? Little girls based on Elsie's photo. fighting dark forces in surreal lands. In Darger's world, she lived on. In ours, her story remains a ghost. To this day, no one knows who killed Elsie Paroubek. Her file gathers dust in a forgotten corner of the Chicago police archives. Her name is now a whisper on the wind, remembered only in fragments, in old newspapers, and in strange, beautiful art. But on quiet spring days, when the wind rustles through the trees along the canal, some say they hear her laugh. A reminder that even in death, Elsie's spirit has not faded. She lingers, a silent question, unanswered. Elsie Paroubek walked into history on a quiet April afternoon and never walked back. What happened to her remains one of Chicago's darkest secrets, and the deeper you look into her story, the colder the truth feels. Because sometimes the scariest stories are the ones that never end.